And welcome to the Carolina Panther post-game report. I'm the coach, Dick Cox, joined by Kristy Palmer. Brisk afternoon here in late November, early December. Kristy, first of all, last time you were on this field, was it this cold, or give us a little example of what you've been through on this field?
It actually was this cold. That was, I guess, end of December. It was our Christmas game, and I got to wear a little Christmas outfit, but it was very cold. I'm glad to be more covered today.
Kristy's making the move from the other side of being one of the top cats now to working with us at Cox Sports Broadcasting. Well, you got a chance to see the other side of it, sitting at where it's 72 degrees up there with a nice and sunny up there in the press box, though. But a game today, the Panthers were expected to come in, beat a team to struggle this year, the team they've beaten already in Tampa Bay. It would have been easy for them to have had a letdown, to maybe come out flat after a couple of three straight come-from-behind wins, though. But they came out, did not play their best game of the year, but they got it done, 27-6.
They definitely got it done, and I was kind of afraid of them having a flat game today. And then, Tampa Bay's really come on strong the last, winning three straight, and they've definitely been playing better football. So I thought they may actually struggle with them this week, especially not after having a great showing in Miami last week. But it was nice for them to take the lead, not have to play, coming from behind. I know we all wanted to see that the Panthers were capable of doing that, but now I'm kind of just like to see them keep winning by a lot.
Good to be back in the bank this week right there, though. But, I told you on the first series that I thought the Panthers may have been a little bit sluggish, that they got the ball first. They had a 3-and-out, I believe, to start the game, though. But they really picked things up, and the big pick-me-up in the game was the 56-yard run by Cam Newton, which I accused him of tripping over the 15-yard line on the paint being a little bit thick. But he said his story, and he's sticking to it, was he got tripped up. I honestly think he fell down, could have gotten up, scored if he had thought about it.
I think he fell down, but I won't tell anybody else that. But, that was an amazing run by him. And, Steve Smith made a huge block there for him to be able to get some extra yardage. It was just exciting to see him take off and gain that many yards. It was a great play. And it was a great play from the standpoint that he picked up about 30 yards and could have run out of bounds, was headed for out of bounds, and he saw Steve Smith make a good block, changed gears, took off down the sidelines, made a great move at the 20, and I thought cut through the guy, made it through, and then fell down at the 15. But it was a play that picked the team up, got them the early touchdown that they needed, and they were able to lead from coast to coast. Absolutely. It was, gave the team some swagger, gave them some momentum. I definitely think they're probably tired of playing from behind as well, so it was good to get ahead and, have a big play like that to pick the team up and just to go from there.
Big concern in the first half that I know both of us had was the running game with the Panthers. Jonathan Stewart started today. D'Angelo Williams was held out, was injured, probably mainly resting for the big game next week and all, though. But for the longest point, we were talking about that Cam had 60 yards and the remaining team only had 6, though. But a good turnaround the second half. Mike Tolbert really picked it up in the human bowling ball, although Cam Newton's got a book of names for him right now. Sugar Bear, Patty Mayonnaise, who else on there, though? But he's got all kind of names. I thought he did a great job of running the football and really picking them up in an area that really needed it, and that was in the running game in the second half.
Absolutely. They've definitely struggled the last few games with the running game, and I think that's been a concern for, I want to say, Rivera's probably been definitely concerned about that. But to have Tolbert, I would want him on my team. He just keeps going. Like, you can't stop him. He's not easy to tackle at all, so he's great.
And I know it's kind of funny because Ron Rivera, who was a great linebacker for the Chicago Bears, was asked how would he tackle Mike Tolbert, and he said he probably hit me in the chest, that you can't get low enough on him because of that low center of gravity with him, though. But, again, he played running back. Jonathan Stewart started. The Quack Attack running back actually got in for a few carries, and we were kidding the last time we saw him in a game that his former team was actually undefeated, which was many moons ago.
Yeah, he took some hard hits. I don't think I would have wanted to be him today, but I would prefer to be Tolbert. I feel like people run away from him. They just kind of ran over Barner.
I like to think of him as he looks like a little tank out there, that you wind him up like a little toy tank, and he just runs over people as he scoots through. But on the positive side, the passing game was effective for the Panthers in that Cam Newton was able to throw for a couple of touchdown passes. He did throw 2 picks today that one of them was nonchalant. It may have been another one that the pattern was busted or something there, though. But it's nice that, first time in a long time he's had a couple of turnovers, but he still could have 2 turnovers and finish with a good game, and the Panthers win by 21.
Absolutely. And I think, he even commented about, he made mistakes and he kind of needed to change his, the way he handled it and things like that. But I definitely think that he has matured, even watching him in his press conferences. It's been nice to see how he's progressed over the past 3 years, and then, to be able to have not the best games and still come back and have still it be a good game, and to learn from his mistakes and to grow and keep going.
And that's why I had to test that at today's. And I talked to Stephen Drummond first and made him aware of the question there that I did ask Cam if he got tripped up or was the paint a little bit too thick at the 15 that jumped up and tripped him running in there. And he said he was sure his quarterback coach and a couple other players would not let him have the last laugh or hear the end of that one right there.
Oh, yeah, and I think they're probably he's going to hear about that one for a long time. I'm sure the Auburn win yesterday probably has kept his spirits up, so he probably was willing to take a few more jabs today.
In the words of Cam Newton, did I say War Eagles, which we heard that about 50 times today, the post-game press conference. The story of this team all season long and again today was defense. And that's when the GM change was made during the offseason. The new general manager came in and emphasized the first 2 draft picks were on shoring up that defensive line. And, man, what a move it's made. Again, the Panthers' defense was awesome again today.
They've been the story of this whole season. I know there have been talks about Cam being, the MVP, but I think that this defense as a whole is the MVP. Klein has really stepped it up. I know he had a good game. I think it was in San Francisco and then kind of fell off, but he really stepped up today, I think. Thomas Davis coming off of 3 ACL surgeries and still, he's killing it this year. Kuechly, obviously, he's having, the leading tackler. It's just a core group of defensive guys. And
bringing up Thomas Davis's name, he was the NFL Defensive Player of the Month for last month, doing a great job right there. But, I mean, that says a lot when you can take a player of the caliber of a Charles Johnson and him not play today. You got Chase Blackburn, who did not play today, and some players who've really played well. And the Panthers basically stepped in today, did not miss a beat with the depth on this team, and this continued to get better. And the thing that really has surprised me is we knew the front 7 was good, but just how much this secondary has improved. That was, they could have been, when Cam was coming up with the names right there, the secondary could have been called Toast at the beginning of the year because of the thing. But this group is just kind of like the land of the misfit toys at the beginning of the year with all the plug in, fill in the holes and do that. But they have developed into a very good secondary. And again, that's what Coach Ron Rivera was saying. The secondary was playing so well. That's why they were able to get the sacks they got. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure in training camp I said that the secondary was my biggest concern, and they've been solid. They're not great, but they make plays. They do what they have to do, and they've really stepped it up this year. And I'm just really impressed with the changes that they've made.
Kicking game has been good again. That we've got the automatic kicker with field goals. Ted Ginn Jr. on the returns has been good. And now, the big showdown's coming up next week that they could possibly go to New Orleans, which has been moved to a national TV game at night, tied, because tomorrow night, the New Orleans Saints take on Seattle in a huge game. So this team's hung tough. They've got the next 2 out of the next 3 games are against New Orleans and could really write the story on whether they are a conference champion or maybe stay in position for a wild card.
To be a conference champion, that would be awesome, and actually have a home playoff game, so I'm definitely pulling for the Seahawks tomorrow night. But I think the Saints are really hard to beat, especially in a dome. It's going to be a tough challenge for them next Sunday night, but hopefully they'll win.
Well, it will be interesting. Well, this team, like I said, nobody gave them a chance against San Francisco on the road. Nobody gave them a chance against New England here and all. But they just keep pulling out the big wins. They're on a roll. Call them butter. They're on a roll right now, though. We want to keep them rolling, though. But, again, a huge win today. That they came in, did not have a letdown against a lesser caliber team, did not play down to the level of Tampa Bay, but made Tampa Bay play to their level.
Definitely. I think that last week, again, against Miami, I thought they really struggled and kind of played down to Miami's level. So I was glad to see that they came in today and got back on track, played their game, and beat them, pretty handily. So it was good to see. And I think that was probably motivation for next week. You'd hate to have a bad game this week and then, take on New Orleans next week. And that would be a must-win for sure if you want to talk about conference championships.
The Panthers are 27-6 winners today over Tampa Bay, sweeping the series with them. Take on New England next week. Huge ball game. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks for the game with the Jets, though. She's Kristy Palmer. I'm the coach, Dick Cox. Again, bringing you the post-game report today on a happy day in Bank of America Stadium. We'll see you next home game. Goodbye, everybody.